Ever felt the frustration of messaging between different operating systems? Ever wondered why your Android friends receive your photos in a lesser quality than your iPhone buddies? In the dynamic world of technology, we often find ourselves navigating a labyrinth of compatibility issues, particularly when it comes to messaging between different operating systems. A common issue users face revolves around the distinct difference between iMessage and other messaging systems. In the United States, there's a perceived stigma associated with the color of your text messages. If you're an iMessage user, your texts appear blue, whereas they turn green for other users. Oddly enough, this color distinction doesn't faze the rest of the world where WhatsApp reigns supreme. Now imagine a scenario where you're sending images or videos to your Android friends, only to find out they're receiving scaled-down versions of your media. Frustrating, right? Well, it seems like Apple has finally decided to listen to our woes and make some changes. Enter RCS, or Rich Communication Services, Google's answer to this cross-platform messaging dilemma. So, what's the scoop on this RCS? It's essentially a protocol that is designed to upgrade the traditional SMS and MMS messaging system we've all grown accustomed to. Imagine being able to send high-resolution images and videos, engage in group chats, or even see when your message has been read or when someone is typing a response. Sounds a lot like iMessage or WhatsApp, right? That's the goal. Google has been pushing RCS as the next big thing in messaging, not just for Android users, but for everyone. The tech giant has been urging Apple to adopt this system, touting it as a universal solution that could bring about a unified, seamless messaging experience across different operating systems. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, in the United States, there's a bit of a stigma attached to the color of your text messages. If you're an iMessage user, your texts appear in blue. But if you're using a different platform, your messages show up in green. This color difference is a constant reminder of the divide that exists between iOS and other operating systems. However, in other parts of the world where WhatsApp is king, this color-coded messaging hierarchy is virtually non-existent. So if RCS can offer a similar experience to WhatsApp, but with the added advantage of being a native messaging protocol, it could potentially bridge this divide. The adoption of RCS by Apple could mean a significant improvement in the way we exchange media files between iPhone and Android. Android users in a group chat could finally receive high-resolution images instead of the scaled-down versions sent over traditional MMS. So it seems like a win-win situation, right? Better messaging capabilities, cross-platform compatibility, and an end to the blue-green divide. But the question remains, will Apple jump on this bandwagon? After years of pressure, Apple has decided to adopt the RCS system within iMessage. But what led to this decision? Let's delve into the timeline of events that pushed Apple towards this choice. In the early 2020s, Google started to champion the RCS system. This system promised an enhanced messaging experience, one that would bridge the gap between Android and iPhone users. For years, the difference in messaging platforms had been a bone of contention, particularly in the United States, where the green and blue text bubbles of iMessage were more than just colors on a screen. They were symbolic of an unspoken divide between iPhone and non-iPhone users. Other parts of the world didn't seem to notice this distinction. WhatsApp was the dominant messaging app, its ubiquity rendering the color of your text bubbles irrelevant. But in the US, the divide was real and palpable. This created a subtle pressure on Apple to find a solution that would unify the messaging experience across platforms. Google, on the other hand, saw an opportunity. They saw a way to level the playing field and remove the perceived stigma associated with the green text bubbles. They believed that the RCS system was the answer. But Apple was not quick to jump on the bandwagon. They had concerns about the flaws within the RCS system and were hesitant to integrate it into iMessage. However, as the years rolled on, the pressure mounted. Users wanted a unified messaging platform. They wanted to send images and videos without worrying about quality degradation or compatibility issues. The demand was clear, and the solution was RCS. So, after years of resistance, Apple made the decision. In 2024, they would adopt the RCS system within iMessage. This was a significant step towards a more unified messaging experience, one that would bridge the divide between iPhone and non-iPhone users. So, Apple has committed to RCS in 2024. But what does this mean for us, the users? Stay tuned as we explore the impact of this decision in the next scene. Scene script. Adopting RCS is definitely a game changer, but how will it impact the way we message? Well, let's take a moment to envision the possible changes. For starters, imagine a world where sending images and videos between iPhone and Android devices is as seamless as sharing them with your fellow iPhone users. No more pixelated images or grainy videos, but high-quality multimedia exchanges irrespective of the device you use. As it stands, Android users in group chats often receive a less-than-ideal version of images sent over traditional MMS. With RCS, this issue could be a thing of the past. The quality of content shared across platforms will be significantly improved, making our interactions richer and more engaging. Let's also consider the implications on group messaging. Currently, it's not uncommon for Android users to feel a bit left out in iPhone-dominated group chats. But with the adoption of RCS, we could see a more inclusive messaging environment where everyone's on the same platform, experiencing the same features. Another potential benefit is the read receipts and typing indicators that RCS could bring to the table. These features, commonly associated with iMessage, could soon be a standard part of your messaging experience, regardless of whether you're an Android or iPhone user. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the notorious green and blue text stigma. It's a peculiarly American phenomenon, where the color of your message bubbles can somehow indicate your social status or tech savviness. With RCS adoption, this distinction could become obsolete. Everyone could be messaging on an equal footing without any color-coded hierarchies. However, there's a lingering question. Will Android users get the same blue button appearance as iMessage users? It's not clear yet. Apple's support of RCS doesn't necessarily mean Android users will suddenly see their messages turn blue, but who knows? Maybe the future holds a rainbow of message bubble colors. So, the green and blue text stigma may finally be a thing of the past, but will Android users get the same blue button appearance as iMessage users? Only time will tell. In the meantime, it's exciting to ponder the possibilities that RCS could usher in. While the adoption of RCS by Apple is exciting, it does bring up a few uncertainties. As we look forward to 2024, there are several questions that remain unanswered. One of the major uncertainties revolves around the aesthetic aspect of this integration. In the United States, there's a distinct color-coded system within iMessage that differentiates between iPhone users and non-iPhone users. The blue bubbles are associated with iMessage users, while the green ones represent those on different platforms. This color distinction, although seemingly trivial, has somewhat fueled a sense of exclusivity and superiority among iPhone users. With the integration of RCS, will Android users be granted the coveted blue bubble status in iMessage? Will they be on an equal footing with iPhone users, at least in terms of appearance? This might seem like a minor detail, but for many, it's a matter of identity and belonging. Another uncertainty pertains to the technical challenges that might arise. While RCS promises to enhance the sharing of media files between Android and iPhone users, it's still not clear how smoothly this will work in reality. The system, as it stands, is not without its flaws. Will Android users in a group message chat still receive scaled-down images sent over traditional MMS, or will RCS truly bridge this quality gap? Moreover, how will Apple's adoption of RCS affect other messaging platforms? In much of the world, WhatsApp is the dominant messaging app, with its end-to-end encryption and cross-platform compatibility. Will RCS, with its improved features, pose a threat to the dominance of WhatsApp and similar apps? Such questions only scratch the surface of the uncertainties that lie ahead. The landscape of digital communication is on the brink of a major shift, and as with any change, it brings both excitement and apprehension. Only time will tell how this decision by Apple will shape the future of messaging. But one thing is certain. The conversation is about to get a lot more interesting. So, let's quickly revisit what we've discussed today. The world of messaging has been a battlefield of different operating systems, with a clear divide between iMessage and other users. This divide, often represented by the colors blue and green, has created a stigma, particularly in the United States. Enter RCS, or Rich Communication Services. This is a messaging protocol that Google has been pushing for, and after years of resistance, Apple has finally decided to adopt it in 2024. This move promises to bridge the gap between iPhone and Android users particularly addressing issues with sending images and videos. But the future is not without uncertainties. Will Android users get the same blue button appearance as iMessage users? Only time will tell. As we wait for 2024, we can only hope that this change will indeed make our messaging experience better. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe for more tech updates.